Squad Pod. Squad Pod.
Hey everybody, welcome to Squad Pod Sports, where we bring you our thoughts on the latest games and news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. Sorry, we took a week off last week. Sorry if you missed us, but we're back and we got a ton of news for you.
So much
news. NBA are into the conference finals now. It's just
four
getting
new
nuts.
faces.
Yeah, right. That's what I feel like. A lot of people have been dissing, saying like, oh, we don't have like these huge names or big market teams. But I think this is even more exciting. Like, who's going to win it? Like, I feel like any one of these teams could win it.
Exactly. And we'll get into it a little bit more, but we even have Phoenix off to a great start in their series right now, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we'll talk about those games, all the news other than the games. We'll talk about the NHL playoffs because they're also in the conference finals as of right now. They're kind of almost one game away from possibly going to the Stanley Cup, you know. But I mean, we'll cover that. And, of course, NFL news, our bias bubbles, and the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. So, man, we'll just kind of get right into it. We'll just talk about the games, I guess, leading that where we're at now.
Where we're at right now.
And I mean, as of right now, we got the Suns versus the Clippers. They're up 1-0 right now.
Backtrack a little bit though, like how we got here.
Oh yeah,
because I know it's a little bit late, but we had Suns down Denver 4-0, real quick. Swept them right out, and then the Sixers, man,
went to Game 7, man, and collapsed. They went to Game 7 and collapsed.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
they're the pass the ball.
First one seed to lose 3 home games within 2 rounds in 53 years, and the last team to do it was in 1968, and it was the 76ers.
Of course.
That's a early crazy sports stat.
Now, Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons, which one of them is moving? Because they're not this is not working. It's not working.
I feel like I would move Ben, but he has that I think it's a $146 million contract he just signed. That's gonna be hard to move, especially now.
Out, man.
You think?
He's probably gonna want out.
I could see that. I mean, you saw it. I don't know if you saw the video of they closed in on him after that the famous shot where he just threw it away.
Right.
And he was just come on, man. And it's just, he's had enough. He's fed up. I mean, Doc Rivers out here saying that he doesn't think he can be a starter on a championship team. And
I didn't know that. I didn't hear that.
They asked him if he could be that point guard on a championship team. He's like, as of right now, I can't answer that question. I don't know. And he's like, I don't think so. But man, that is I mean, if I was Philly, I would try to move him rather than lose Embiid. Right. But I don't know if anybody's going to want to take on that contract right now. I mean, dude can't shoot.
Somebody might, but dude can't shoot.
Dude can't shoot. He's not aggressive.
I keep thinking back to that picture where you see it's during All-Star Weekend practice, and Ben Simmons is in the front about to shoot, and in the background you see LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Paul all talking. And LeBron's pointing at him
it looks like they're making fun of him or talking shit.
They knew this shit years ago. Dude can't shoot. Well, how did he get here?
Yeah, man. I mean, apparently, I don't know if you saw this, according to Stephen A. Smith, he has a source within Philadelphia, and his source told him that Ben doesn't work, listen, and he constantly is babied within the franchise, which could have a lot to do with it if his source is correct.
Really could. But I also heard that he's not going to play on the Australian national team this year in Team USA. He's going to be focusing straight on improving his game. So,
man, if he sticks to that, Philly's having it rough this year. First, they go through the Carson Wentz ordeal. Then with the Flyers, Carter Hart isn't Carter Hart like he was last year. There's something going on with him. And now Ben Simmons gets the yips, and he doesn't know how to play basketball in the playoffs. Still an elite defender, but I mean, that only goes so far if you can't shoot. Chris Dunn is an elite defender, too, that doesn't get recognition, but he can't shoot.
Can't shoot. If you can't shoot, that's half the game of basketball, man.
That's right. That's the game. You got to put the ball with the basket. And I mean, I don't know, man. It's scary.
And you have Atlanta moving on and facing
the Bucks,
facing Milwaukee,
who took the Nets to Game 7. Granted, I mean, Kyrie was hurt. James Harden was hobbled coming back the last couple games. But man, KD showed the world who he is, like why he is one of the greatest right now.
Right.
Like, he's out here doing shit that nobody has done before type stuff.
And I think he's healthy. He ended the season healthy. He's going to be working out all season. He's going to come back next year even better, honestly. So if the Nets can stick together and get this, they're going to be like the Golden State Warriors were a couple years ago when they were pushing for the best record of all time. You know? So next year's Nets definitely don't be discouraged. I think they're going to be great next year, especially with this year under their belt.
Yeah, and I mean that game that he played every single minute of in Game 6, he was the first player to ever drop 45, 15, and 10 in the playoffs, which is outrageous, man. And like this dude was coming off an injury, like Alex was saying on the other podcast, where that ends most people's careers, and he's out here hooping like nothing ever happened.
Hooping, like best in the world hooping.
Yeah. He also joined MJ and Kobe to score in double figures in multiple games. It says up to 150 points, or no, 150 games, sorry, in the playoffs. So KD joins MJ and Kobe to score double figures in 150 playoff games.
Okay.
So those are the only three players that ever do that.
Not LeBron?
No, apparently LeBron has not. In 150 playoff games, he had at least one game where he wasn't in double figures.
Damn, bro. That's probably in Dallas, in that Dallas series.
Getting Jason Terry all over him.
Damn, LeBron.
But yeah, man, that was a crazy series, man. I didn't know who was gonna win it, even with Kyrie and Harden out at that point, you know?
Right. At the beginning, it looked like it was gonna be over.
Yeah, I mean,
it really did.
The Bucks started coming back, and then KD was like, you know what, I'm gonna put the team on my back, and man, he did his thing, man.
He got that
credit to Milwaukee though.
Of Steve Nash hugging him, just like thank you. But it wasn't enough, man.
Wasn't enough. Hopefully next year. But credit to Milwaukee. Congratulations to them. Go to the conference finals. They're going to be playing the Hawks, which, I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit too. But I mean, on the other side, what was it? You already talked about the Clippers
ended up beating the Jazz.
Yeah, in 7 games.
I mean,
without Kawhi.
I kind of expected it, but especially without Kawhi, that was even more surprising. But they're like we were saying right now, Phoenix is looking like the hottest team in basketball since the bubble last year, type of shit. You know, so they're about to be up on them 2-0. We'll see what happens here by the end of the podcast, but Phoenix is really doing real good. They do not have Kawhi, like we were saying, but they still got Paul George.
Yeah, he has an ACL injury. Apparently, he's out indefunnitely. Like they have no clue when he's going to be coming back.
Right, which is real unfortunate. That shit always happens to the Clippers. But like, hey, fuck the Clippers. I'm just saying.
And I mean, Chris Paul got COVID.
Yeah, so they're down someone.
He was out a couple games. I don't know if he's going to be back for Game 3 or not. Who knows?
I'm not sure.
They didn't say. Like his status was questionable for Game 2. So I mean, I guess they're hoping for Game 3. But I mean,
we'll see. That'll be Thursday.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. What are your predictions for these games and for the finals?
For these games here, I'm gonna say the Suns win this in 6. Okay.
6. Okay.
Suns in 6, and then I'm gonna say the Bucks win this in 7. This will be a 7-game series with the Hawks. But the Bucks will pull it out in 7, and it'll be the Suns versus the Bucks in the finals. And then we'll talk predictions for finals when we get there. But I'm saying Suns and the Bucks.
I think it's going to be the same finals prediction. I think it's also going to be the Suns and the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Suns are going to are going to win in 5.
Okay.
I think the Suns. I am super confident in these Suns, even without CP. But once CP comes back, man, I think it's a done deal. And
Trae Young.
I know. I know. Oh man.
I'm saying Bucks in 7, man.
I want to just say 6, but I feel like 7's the more like I think that's more like reasonable. I think that could definitely happen.
Now,
Yeah. So I'll go with 7 on that one.
And this is what I think is going to happen, but I just wanted the record to reflect that I want it to be Atlanta versus Phoenix. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Trae Young versus Devin Booker. But I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I think is definitely probably I don't know, man. I feel like the Hawks could shock the Bucks somehow.
They could.
They
really could.
But I see the Bucks coming out of it. But a Suns Bucks would be an interesting finals.
That would.
Interesting finals.
Suns are real high powered offensively. The Bucks have great defense, so
yeah,
that would be a great matchup.
Yeah. Giannis just got practicing free throws and do them a little faster. He's taking forever.
I love how like it's become such a thing that they have like the clock up on the screen, just like counting, and the whole crowd's like 10, 9, like just like how long it takes him. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous.
But yeah, those are the games. We'll kind of make the finals predictions when we get there. But as of right now, we got a lot of news to catch up on.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna go through an NBA rapid fire news program here.
Ready for it.
So we can just kind of go back and forth a little bit. The first one I have here, I don't know if you saw this. Paul Gasol won another championship.
I did. I did with Barcelona. That shit's crazy. I actually had that in my bias bubble.
The first time the club has won it since 2013 and 14, and it's the 19th title for Barcelona. But man, Paul Gasol just keeps winning.
All he does is win, man. I thought that shit was amazing. I did see that.
Yeah, that's super cool. Jason Kidd interviewed with the Magic, apparently. Ooh. So it might be the head coach there, which is like, man, you got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do if you go to the Magic.
Don't go to Orlando.
They got 2 top 10 picks this year, though.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, Jason Kidd.
Don't do it.
Suns advanced to their first Western Conference final in 11 years, and they've been winning by an average of 16 points this postseason, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. They're blowing people out every game.
Yeah. Jokic is the 4th MVP to get swept in the playoffs. Kareem, Magic, and Malone before him. So, I mean,
it happens. And look at the NFL where you go. The NFL MVP doesn't win the Super Bowl. It never happens.
Never happens. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Just don't happen.
You got a Vern?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So NBA is returning to its normal schedule. They announced.
Yeah.
I know it's a little bit late here, but we're going to be starting about mid-October, back to normal. You know, very long season still, but it's going to be feeling like some normalcy. I think they're still playing with the idea of that mid-season tournament, but it won't be implemented in this year here. You know, but that shit's interesting too. The all defensive first team was announced. We have Giannis, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, and Ben Simmons. Like you were saying, he's great on defense, but can't shoot. All these other people could shoot the ball. Come on now. But Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year this year. Another one, you know.
But like three times in a row, isn't it?
I don't know. It might be.
I know he's won it 3 times. I don't know if it's in a row, though. He has won it 3 times.
Like, it's either him or Draymond lately.
Yeah.
And then the NBA is talking about restricting that unusual shot motion that like James Harden and all of them are doing.
They said apparently it's going to be a foul, or they're just not going to call anything.
Right. Exactly. So there's not going to necessarily be as much of a like automatic.
I am all for it because you see everybody taking advantage of that shit. I mean, Trae, you've been seeing Trae do it these postseasons.
I mean,
too.
It's the rules, so
it is the rules.
Take advantage of it.
Exactly. Like nothing says in the rules until they put it in there. But who knows?
Exactly. They got to change the rules to stop that shit.
Yeah.
But and
like,
then
wait a minute, you can't do this.
The last thing I had here was that the NBA is talking about. They're saying we're not giving up on that mid-season tournament idea. We're still thinking about that, just to let everybody else know, like that initiative thing where they give the winners $1 million each, you know. But like, just trying to spice things up. I think it's something they're trying to take from soccer leagues that do something similar, but I'm not too familiar with it. But they said they're not giving up on it, so it's something we can probably not necessarily look forward to, but who knows? Maybe it'll be cool.
Yeah. Going off your like the all defense team of the year, they released the all NBA teams as well. First team was Jokic, Giannis, Steph Curry, Luka, and Kawhi. That's
Ooh,
interesting. Like for the
Luka.
first team. Second, you
Luka.
had CP3, Damian Lillard, Embiid, Julius Randle, and LeBron James on the second team. And then third
LeBron
team,
didn't play enough games.
he was on second team all NBA. Third, you had Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Rudy Gobert, Jimmy Butler, and Paul George.
Okay. See, defensive player of the year on the third team, though.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it is interesting. You put LeBron on two.
Very interesting.
It is very interesting.
I feel like Dame might have been on the first team too, but Steph was on fire, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I also have here Trailblazers are looking at Karl Anthony Towns, possibly getting him off the Timberwolves, which we've been talking about how the Trailblazers need a big man. Put a dude under there.
And that would be great.
Yeah, new it'll give him a fresh start, and I think he can kind of like blossom there. I think he'll be nice on Portland.
Exactly.
Let me see here. Mike D'Antoni interviewed for the Trailblazers as well. So, I mean, he might be leaving. I think he's one of the assistant coaches for the Nets. Apparently, might be taking a head coaching job.
Interesting. That a Mike D'Antoni offense
in Portland.
Interesting. that would be really cool to see, actually.
It would be, because he's very offensive minded. I mean, who knows? You saw what he could do with the Rockets. They went pretty far in the playoffs. They just couldn't do it.
Man. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah. The Lakers, your boys. Apparently, they're frustrated with Kyle Kuzma and his inconsistency.
I'm frustrated with Kyle Kuzma. I'm so frustrated with Kyle Kuzma. What do you mean? Everybody's frustrated with Kyle Kuzma. And his inconsistencies.
Get
him out of here. Apparently, he changing. This is some more like Twitter BS, but like just like really? Schroeder, he removed all the Lakers shit from his like bio on his IG, and I'm like, oh my god, why?
Ron saw what the Nets were doing this year, and he's like, I want all these stars. Bring them.
It's like,
I need to cut all this fat out of here. Peace, Kyle Kuzma. Peace.
He's gonna literally get rid of everybody except for Anthony Davis,
and just try to bring in everybody he can.
Russell Westbrook.
Blake gonna end up leaving the Nets just to go to the Lakers because he was on play.
Do whatever we gotta do to make sure we get to the championship next year to face those Nets. That's what I want to see. Nets.
They're gonna be coming back with a vengeance.
I know, man.
The Pacers fired head coach Nate Bjorkgren. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name.
Hey man, they weren't great at all this year. They need change things up a little bit there.
News as of today: the Harlem Globetrotters want to negotiate to form a franchise in the NBA.
A real franchise?
That's what they said.
Oh. What do you mean?
Apparently, that's what's making Twitter and Bleacher Report today was the Harlem Globetrotters said they want to negotiate with the NBA for a franchise. And I say that's going to be the first team to go 82 and the Globetrotters, they're going to be doing some crazy shit.
That's what I'm picturing, bro. They're out there doing the wildest shit.
Just like on LeBron James, just like doing some like that shit where they be like 4 people be running at the basket and they just keep throwing it up and the last person dunks it. Teams aren't gonna know how to defend the Globetrotters. They're gonna be sinking from like half court every time like games.
There's gonna be some dude, like some short little bald dude comes out and just sinks half quarters automatic, like it's nothing.
Like, we want to buy a franchise, but we don't want to draft. We just want to keep our players. We don't want to draft anybody. We just want to keep our core.
Don't worry about those supplemental drafts or anything like that. We got players. We're fine. We got a home court.
We'll draft. We'll start drafting next year. Don't worry about us.
We got a bus. We don't need a plane. We got a bus.
But I thought that was very interesting, man.
Now that the idea is out there, I'm going to be upset if they don't let the Harlem Globetrotters be in the NBA.
how could you not be a fan of the Harlem Globetrotters?
I can't get that song out of my head. Like, how would you not be able to be playing that song at all times? Like that like little whistle, while they're just out there dribbling and just spinning the ball on the like,
Dude, it'll be like how Harden does a step back. Dude will just be sitting there spinning it, and then like Fader, like with a three, like he'll just sit there and spin the ball for the whole shot clock, and then like right at the last thing, just
so like
swish.
throw it down behind him and kick the ball and it'll go in the hoop.
Whoever's cover is just like, can he do that?
Oh my god, that needs to happen, man.
It needs to happen. I am all
when
aboard
LeBron-
the Harlem Globetrotters train. They would be my second favorite team in the NBA because, like, I'm definitely gonna root for them Globetrotters. You got 3 New York teams up in there. I'm gonna root for the Globetrotters. They gonna go 82-0 and win the chip.
I hope they change nothing about them, like their costumes, like their everything the same. Like, just change nothing. Use the same arenas. I want to see LeBron come down to like the Hershey Center or some shit, like Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
I mean, oh my
LeBron
god,
leaves the Lakers to go to the Harlem Globetrotters, and LeBron's a Harlem Globetrotter.
he's not good enough.
He looks so weird in that that red, white, and blue uniforms they have.
He's not good enough for the Harlem Globetrotters. You better fucking recognize, man.
Oh man. In other news, Spencer Dinwiddie is apparently going to decline his player option. He's going to be a free agent this year. I mean, come back to the Bulls. I know he did really start off his career right that well with the Bulls. He went and found himself on the Nets, but man, if he wants to come back if he wants. Let's see here. Brandon Ingram is a target for the Miami Heat, apparently.
Okay.
He's been doing well. I mean, the Heat, it just seems like they got Oladipo, and then Oladipo just kept getting hurt. He didn't really he didn't all in the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
and Jimmy proved last year he can get you there, but he can't do it all by himself,
Yeah, I mean, Hero was just having an off year. Like, it was just bubble Hero was not there.
Yeah.
And
He spent too much time hanging out with rappers.
Dirk Nowitzki joined the Mavs as a special advisor. Apparently his first task is to look for a head coach and a head of b-ball operations because the Mavs had a terrible day the other day. The Mavs GM, Donnie Nelson, left after 13 seasons, and Rick Carlisle won't return as the Mavs head coach, and he had like 2 years left on his deal.
Right, which really makes you wonder, like, what's going on.
Apparently Luka was not easy to work with. That's like some of the noise. Like, apparently Luka would like not listen to anything he had to say and like talk back at him and shit.
Luka's
And
like,
it's
I'm
like,
a superstar.
you know who I am?
You know who I am? He wants to be treated like Lionel Messi or Ronaldo. I'm just kidding. I fucking love
thought
Luka.
that was pretty interesting. I was like, damn, like, something's going on if like the GM and head of basketball operations and the head coach just all of a sudden, nah, peace.
Especially if someone like Rick Carlisle, like, he's been
Yeah,
there forever.
forever won a championship with him. Let me see here. The Celtics, of course, big news. They traded Kemba Walker for a 16th pick and a 2023 second to the OKC for Al Horford, Moses Brown, and a 2023 second round pick, which is interesting.
Weird.
Very weird.
Very
So
interesting. I feel like they got robbed, but like
Definitely.
they opened the window and like let the guy see where the safe was and told him where the password was. And, like,
I mean,
it
the
doesn't make
news that I
sense.
had, apparently Boston was like done with Kemba. Like, they were over it. So
Yeah, but did they have to give up a first too?
I didn't see anything about a first.
It's just that what was the pick they gave? Did they give a pick too?
Oh yeah, the 16th. My bad. The 16th.
Yeah, they gave the 15th. Like, why the fuck did they give him another? I just don't understand it. You really wanted to get rid of that dude that bad for
Apparently,
him to just
that
probably
was
get
Brad
bought out?
Stevens' first thing to do as the head of basketball operations there.
Very interesting.
He's like, we get Kemba out of here. Bring Al Horford back, who's probably going to retire in the next couple years. Apparently Zion's not happy in New Orleans.
I mean,
So-
neither was Anthony Davis, and we saw how that went.
Apparently they're frustrated.
Come on to
how
LA.
they're building around him. I could see him going to the Knicks, man. To be honest,
Hell
I could
yeah.
see him going and playing on the Knicks.
He was supposed to go to the Knicks in the first place.
Yeah, but go there and play there. I think RJ Barrett's there. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Man,
And
and
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle, yeah. And if they keep, oh man, if they keep D Rose and stuff too, the
D
Knicks,
Rose is going to be on the Lakers next year.
D Rose need to take his ass back to Chicago. Come
No.
home.
No.
Come home. Yeah,
Come
we
to
got
the
a team now.
Lakers, win a championship with us, and
Got
then go back to
now.
Chicago. That's
We got
fine.
Vooch, we got Zach. Bring D Rose in. Bring somebody else in.
We're going
Uh,
to bring in all the superstars next year. We're
I
going
know,
to have
we-
more superstars than
the
the
Nets. It's just gonna be you guys trying to one up each other every year now. LaMelo Ball won Rookie of the Year.
Very well deserved. Even though Anthony Edwards had a great year as well.
He did. He had a great year, but man, LaMelo from the start was just out here balling. He came off the bench for like maybe the first like 8 games or something, and then they were just like, "Nope, go ahead." Gave him the keys.
Like, you a starter. There you go. This is your time to shine. Michael Jordan's like, I see what's going on here. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the last thing I have here as far as NBA, very interesting news. We talked about Mike D'Antoni interviewing with Portland. Apparently, rumors from within Portland, they're talking about interviewing Eric Spoelstra from Miami Heat.
I was gonna say, isn't he currently employed?
He might be on the last year of his deal or something.
Oh
from what I
shit!
understand. But apparently, you never know. Maybe he goes to Portland.
No way.
I
He's
don't
not
know.
gonna leave. He's been with Miami forever, man.
He has been with him forever. I don't
Like
see
even
why
way
he would
before
leave,
he
'cause,
was a
the
coach.
Heat are going to the playoffs almost every year.
Yeah. Shit. You already won 2 chips there too.
Yeah.
Been to 4 final. Like, nah, man, he ain't going nowhere. But things change. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That's all I have for NBA. Do you have anything else, man?
No, not NBA.
Okay. We can just hit on the NHL playoffs as of right now. And then before we go into the NFL news, as of right now, the NHL, the Lightning are up 3-2 on the Islanders.
Okay.
They cleaned house last night. They won 8-0.
Damn.
Last night, man. And the Canadians and the Golden Knights are tied. The series is tied at 2-2.
So the Golden Knights came back.
Yeah. They actually play tonight to see like who gets the third win. But man, that series is tied and looking good. But man, the Lightning look like they're gonna finish off the Islanders here and try to go back to back in the Stanley Cup Finals.
It's that Tom Brady still lives in Tampa, so like you've seen that chart. I've showed that chart before where like Tom Brady's residence, the cities that he lives in, the sports teams tend to win championships. I don't understand it.
I remember you showing me that before, and I was going to say, I guarantee you, Tom Brady don't give an ounce of fuck about NHL, but if they go to the Stanley Cup Finals and Tom Brady's going to be there for one of the games, they're going to be like, Super Bowl champion of Tampa Bay, Tom Brady is in the house, and they're going to make a big deal out of it for one night.
He'll do his little
and he's like, Tom's
wave.
just like, I'm going to leave in 20 minutes. I don't care about hockey.
Fucking Tom Brady.
But yeah, that's all the NHL stuff going on. There isn't anything too crazy other than the blowout game last night. But I mean, I think it's going to be the Lightning. I could see the Canadians coming out of the other game as well. I don't know if Vegas. I mean, Vegas could come out of it, but I just for some reason see the Canadians winning it.
With the Bruins out, I'm rooting for Vegas. Let's go.
We're rooting for Vegas now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's understandable. Vegas is a cool team. But I do have a lot of NFL news to go over here. That's not in the bias bubble. I don't know if you have that much for NFL.
I got a couple things, not too many, just a couple things. Like, I had Jamal Adams was holding out. I don't know if he's continuing to.
I haven't seen anything on that recently,
which was very interesting.
Yeah.
And then back, Madden teased the cover, which was just like a picture of 2 goats, and I was like, interesting. Like, I was like, it's probably one of them was gonna be Brady, but I didn't know who the other one was. And then they did announce that it's gonna be Brady and Mahomes, and I thought that was pretty cool. But like, they're calling Mahomes a goat.
Already. Right?
Already, which is kind of like weird.
And they made an MVP edition that doesn't have Aaron Rodgers on it.
That didn't have the MVP on it. Like, what do you mean?
Like, I know Brady and Mahomes have been MVPs, but they weren't the MVP last year. Why don't you just make an
Yeah.
MVP edition with Aaron Rodgers on it?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
have the
Like there
GOAT
hasn't
edition
been
with Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't been on Madden in years. I think he was once, right?
Once, I think.
But it hasn't been in years. Or am I thinking of Brett Favre? Like I don't think he. Oh, hold on, a lot. Has
Maybe
Aaron
it's
Rodgers
like the
ever been on the
Mandela
cover of
effect where
Madden?
I think that he was definitely on a cover, but he wasn't.
No, he
He
was.
wasn't?
I don't even think he was even on the cover. That's
Man,
ridiculous. Aaron Rodgers is getting disrespected, but they Alex probably right because they don't know what jersey to put him in.
that's messed up, man. They could change it. Like they did. I think it was Brett Favre where they
They
changed
don't
it.
want to deal with that again. They're in the same position where they want to put a Packer
Same
on there.
team, too. The damn
God
Packers.
damn it! Fuck it, put Brady and Mahomes on it.
We talked about it a little bit before, but now the NFL has officially requested. They've sent proposals in for future regular season games in Germany.
Nice,
They
nice.
officially put in requests to have him. So
Expanding even more.
exactly. Here's an interesting note. Not about that though. David Culley says the Texans won't hold mandatory minicamp next week because they said we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. Whatever that means, Texans. That's not an encouraging sign for the Texans fans. Like, we're not going to hold mandatory minicamp because we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish.
That is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like I can't. They're like, oh, practice? No.
That was the quote too. Is like we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. It's just like Texans are in for a long season.
Yeah, Texans fans are in for a long season, but the Texans front office seems to already know exactly what they're doing. They're playing for 2020.
They already know what's gonna happen.
2022. They're playing for 2023 at this point. This shit's ridiculous. God damn.
Man. Apparently Todd Gurley has visited the Ravens.
Okay.
He hasn't officially signed, but apparently
I'm too confident on him, man.
I'm not either, man. He's really had such a drastic decline.
And that's the thing.
Past 2 years.
He's not like a Frank Gore where he's only 20 something still, but like Frank Gore has been consistently good no matter what injuries or what's coming. He's been that's why he's always got a job no matter what. And like I just don't think Todd Gurley, even if he signs with somebody, he's not going to get valuable reps.
True. Yeah, that is true, man. I don't know. I just don't.
The same.
He's not the same. Not after that injury. I forget what it was. Was it his ACL? It was something with his leg, his knees. Yeah, I mean that's what happened to Jay Ajayi, man. Jay Ajayi used to ball out, and now he doesn't even play anymore. He's like a professional like e-gamer now.
Hey, man, that's cool too, though.
It is what it is. Hey, we've all won a Super Bowl piece. The Bears finally apparently agreed to a contract with first-round pick Justin Fields, a fully guaranteed 4-year, $18 million contract. And include $11 million signing bonus.
Very unfortunate, but congratulations to Justin Fields.
And what's even crazier, Nagy has come out and said that Justin Fields, the intention is he's not going to start week 1.
Right. They're going to go with old Red Rocket, Andy Dalton.
He said, Andy Dalton is our starter, Justin is our number 2, and we are going to stick with this plan. You just got to trust the plan. Whatever that means. That sounds like what the Texans were trying to say.
Trust us, man. Just trust us.
Just trust us.
We got this.
Believe me. We'll be okay. We'll be all right.
We're gonna be
Trust
fine.
us. We're going to be fine. Mitch is out of here. But Andy Dalton, he's fully comparable. Like
I'm really glad that Mitch Trubisky is no longer going to be a quarterback in the NFL. Even though he's on the Bills, I just trust that Josh Allen will be fine. He's like Ben Roethlisberger. He's good. he might get beat up, but
I thought Carson Wentz was going to be that way too at one point. You never know. It takes a freak accident.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just really don't want to see Mitch Trubisky whatsoever get. I want to see him have 0 snaps this year. Like, please.
I do not want to see on the bench, holding the bench down.
Where you fucking belong, Mitch Trubisky. That's where fucking Jarrett Stidham belongs too.
Yeah, for real.
I had to throw that in there.
Matt
Jones season, man. Yeah.
One of the quotes of the week here, Bruce Arians was asked if he'll bring a COVID-19 specialist to talk to his players about getting vaccinated. And his quote says, he said, "I'm the specialist. If you want to go back to normal, get vaccinated."
Oh shit. Okay, Bruce. Like now, see, he won a Super Bowl and he's Andy Reid. Now he thinks he's Andy Reid. He's just gonna be fucking.
He's like Andy Reid
Oh my
2.0.
god.
He said,
We
"I'm the
have Andy Reid
specialist. If we want to get
2.0
back to
now.
normal, get vaccinated. That's simple enough."
I do love Bruce Arians though, but
He's dope.
this fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
I'm the specialist. Fuck you mean? Not gonna pay nobody.
Steve Smith is going to come back and he's going to serve as the Panthers' new TV analyst.
Oh, okay. Just like specifically?
Yeah,
Like on
apparently it's
their
just
own
going to be
channel or something?
specifically the Panthers' TV analyst. I'm guessing.
Interesting. I like seeing him on NFL Network.
Who knows? He might be doing like here and there. Probably not during
Might be
game
doing
day.
both. Right.
Apparently, speaking of holdouts, you were talking about, Dolphins coach Brian Flores doesn't expect Xavier Howard to report at all. He said it's pretty clear that this is a contract situation. That was a quote.
Damn.
From,
So they're trying to iron that shit out before season starts too, you know.
yeah, I mean, that's a player you don't want to miss because, dude, Xavier Howard was out there just intercepting balls like crazy last year. He was ball hawking.
I know. It's ridiculous.
This is a former Patriot news.
Ooh.
Some crazy shit happened. Vince Wilfork's son was arrested.
Oh
and
man, I
charged
know.
with
I
stealing his
was gonna
Super
have this
Bowl
for my
rings.
fucking
Oh,
bias
you had it in
bubble.
your bias bubble?
Yeah, man.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I blew your bias bubble.
Talking about my Patriots.
I'm sorry.
Talking about my Patriots.
It wasn't an active thing. I'm sorry.
That's the Patriots, man. That's Vince Wilfork.
It is.
Continue on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Former Eagles wide receiver Jordan Matthews has said
No, about the Vince Wilfork stuff. What were you going to say about that?
Oh, okay. Vince Wilfork's son apparently stole his Super Bowl rings, among other memorabilia, from him, and he's been arrested. And apparently he's actually sold some of the stuff as well.
How wild is that? Like, let's just think about that shit for a second. Like, imagine you're a Super Bowl winning player, like you just chilling, and your son steals all this shit, and like now it's gone. Like, imagine you're not gonna be able to just get that shit back.
Yeah.
Like, especially if he sold it. Like, man, I don't even know. I just think that shit's crazy, and the fact that it happened to Vince Wilfork of all people.
Right. Robert Kraft, he should just, hey, if you lost one of them rings, I'll pay to get you another one. Don't worry about it, man. I got
Probably
you.
would. Probably would too.
Don't worry about it. Lifetime warranty.
It might come with some type of lifetime warranty.
I would think. You would think. Maybe. I mean, it's super expensive. You'd have to have some kind of insurance on it, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's two of them, man, and other jewelry.
Former Eagles wide receiver Jordan Matthews has put on 30 extra pounds, and he's looking to play tight end on a team this year.
Okay, interesting.
So another player looking to transfer to tight end. So he actually has receiving experience other than Tim.
See if he can block some of these linebackers rushing, though.
Exactly. And I mean, Jordan Matthews, he's already 30 plus. I don't know his exact age, but he's over 30. So I mean, getting up there. But I mean, he's a free agent, and I mean, he's looking to, play as a tight end somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully it works out for him.
Hopefully. The Chicago Bears they submitted a bid to purchase the Arlington International Racecourse property to make a new stadium.
So it's like 35 miles away from the city or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's crazy. Like, that's crazy that, like, Chicago has so much history in that field, in that stadium. I feel like it would be nuts just to move. Or like if they plan on keeping it open for something. But man, if they just like knock it down, that would suck.
That would.
That's like if the Packers went and knocked down Lambeau.
Exactly. All that like hundreds of years of history,
Yeah. Like, man, that would suck. Like, why are you doing this? Why not just upgrade the stadium if you can?
Or even if you demolish that stadium, rebuild right there like they did with the Link.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't
Except the
that
late, yeah, that's exactly what they did.
right? Because it was
Yeah,
the
that's
vet.
yeah, the vet. But I mean, difference is we weren't winning Super Bowls or anything. I think we won like the football
Yeah,
championships
but
back in the day.
still, the link is respected nowadays.
Some would say yes, some would say no.
I
I
I, I
say
think
yes, but
I
yeah,
think
I
it's a
agree with you.
good. I think it's a cool stadium, man,
I agree with you. I think it's a dope stadium.
and fans love it. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Um, we talked about in the NBA with Dirk Nowitzki coming back to the Mavs. NFL, Eli Manning has come back to the Giants. He is rejoining the Giants organization. His responsibilities now include business operations and fan engagement initiatives. Manning is also going to be inducted into the Giants Ring of Honor on September 26th versus the Falcons. So he's coming back to work with the Giants organization.
He definitely deserves to be in the Ring of Honor.
Definitely.
100%.
100%.
But Hall of Fame is. I
I
would
don't know
probably
if I
say
want
yes.
Eli Manning messing with my business operations.
He's gonna be worried about your business operations as well as Washington's and fucking Dallas's.
Yeah. That's all the news I have outside of like the stuff from my bias bubble.
I had two more things
Oh,
here.
okay, go ahead, man.
I had that the former NFL commish,
Yeah.
is worried about point shaving with all this legalized gambling.
Ooh.
He was bringing up the points about it, and I'm like, damn, even
Start
before
the conversation on it.
this is the shit that we were talking about, man. Like, there's too much. Like, it's just they open the floodgates
NFL,
on
like
it.
we talked about the other week, they partnered now with FanDuel
They're
and all these
partnering
sports
with these
books.
companies,
And now they're like, oh yeah, let's give it a 17 game season now. Oh yeah, guess what? We
Yeah.
got an 18th game season
Oh,
coming up for you here shortly too.
18 game season.
Extra
We have-
games you can go out there and bet on.
Think about how much money is made during NFL weekend on bets from Thursday to Monday on just bets. And if you add just 2 weeks of that revenue, that's going to be hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, so, oh my God, man.
I'm
It's
ready
just-
for the NFL season. Speaking of betting,
I'm
because I hate
ready for the
this
NFL
point
season.
in the playoffs because there's only a couple teams, and I can't. It's hard for me to bet on them because you can't get a lot of money unless you bet a lot of money.
Yeah,
So I mean, I like having a bunch of teams so I can make some parlays, get
exactly.
some stacks.
And then I did have one last thing here was the NFL is paying $1 million to research cannabis as pain relief.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, damn, the NFL is switching their tune on that real quick.
Yeah,
Real quick.
I forget what the one they had, like some type of thing. They talk about it on McAfee. It's like a pain reliever that they would give you in a shot before games. That pretty much you don't feel anything. Like you're not
Like
feeling
some
any
Toradol or something.
Toradol. That's what it's called. Yeah, apparently they're cracking down on Toradol and they're trying to go towards like ingestible Toradol and get away from it a little bit. Which I guess the ingestible isn't nearly as like bad for you in the
Yeah.
long run. But I guess they're trying to phase out the Toradol, and it's good. They're looking towards like medical marijuana and stuff, and just marijuana in general for like pain relief.
Got players on the sideline just taking or hitting wax pens and shit.
Bro, how crazy would it be if they partner with like the NFL and did some shit where like these superstars would have their own strains,
So, I mean,
or like
man,
do something special, like Patty Mahomes is like MVP Kush or something.
oh God, the world is gonna be a crazy place in 30 years,
It would
man.
be like Idiocracy, the movie.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing, bro. And it's gonna be just like that. Well, hopefully less Mountain Dew.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't. Is Terry Crews? It'll be The Rock as the president instead of Terry Crews.
And then Terry Crews.
Yeah.
But that's all the NFL I had.
Okay. The last thing I had here before we hit the bias bubble, the proposal for a 12-team college football playoff cleared another hurdle when 11 presidents and chancellors authorized the 10 FBS commissioners to begin a summer review phase to determine the feasibility of an expanded field.
I think it's a great idea.
Great idea, Mike. Gonna have an expanded playoffs here for college football.
Even as a fan of one of the teams that usually makes the playoffs, like I think it's a great idea because it just makes my team even have a better chance. Like we're gonna we could be one of the best 8 teams in the country. Being a top 4 team is very fucking hard. Being a
Yeah.
top 2, like back in the BCS days, was even harder. But top 4, we usually made that shit. But top 8, shit, the Buckeyes will be there every year, baby. Let's
Every
go.
year. I'm excited. I'm gonna get me a Buckeyes jersey here soon.
Yeah, man. So me and
Buckeye season.
Alex will be happy because Michigan will end up being a top 8 team every once in a while.
They'll have a chance.
You know?
They'll
Well,
actually
I have
have,
a
they'll have a
chance.
chance to get in.
They'll end up being a number 8 and playing Bama or something like that. So
Get
but at
knocked
least
out.
you'll be there. At least you get to be there.
But yeah, that's all the other news that I've had. We can just head right in here to the bias bubbles this week. What do you got, Vern? You have a lot of news?
Start off with my Lakers.
Okay.
D'Angelo Russell was talking shit on Byron Scott, apparently.
Oh,
From back in
okay.
the day. He said that he's a fucking idiot. He said straight up,
Shots
Byron
fired,
Scott
man.
is an idiot. Like,
Shots
because of the way
fired.
that he would treat him when he was younger, like pulling him from games late and stuff like that, using it as like teaching them. He said just straight up, like, man, he was an idiot. I was like, damn, that shit caught my eye. I thought that was very interesting. Okay, I was like, damn.
Okay.
Talked about it a little bit. LeBron is officially changed his number to number 6 from 23. So
Yeah.
my Lakers jersey that I have is now relevant. Okay.
Who's he bringing onto the Lakers? That's number 23.
I don't know. Number 23 should be retired.
On every team, pretty much.
Exactly. Did you know that the Mavs retired Kobe's number 24?
I was actually going to bring that up this week. I didn't know that either.
That shit's crazy.
I had that here as well. In my list. I forgot to mention it, but I did see that this past week.
Kind
I
of
didn't
like
know
the
that.
Heat with Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
But, like,
I had no idea.
Mark Cuban's like, nobody will ever wear that number in Dallas, and I was like, that's awesome.
That's decent.
That's awesome. Like, but I saw some other shit. This is random, but I saw some other shit like LeBron changed his number to have 4 different jerseys retired or something like that, and I was like, first of all, the Heat jersey, yeah, maybe though the Heat might retire. I doubt it though. Maybe they retire number 6, but I doubt it. The Cavs, they'll probably retire his number 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Lakers ain't retiring 23 or 6.
I don't think so either.
I don't care how many chips he ain't gonna win enough chips in the twilight of his career to have either of his numbers retire with the Lakers.
Yeah.
not
I mean,
gonna
I think
have
the same thing.
And it's like if they so
Even so, I don't think LeBron really cares.
yeah, exactly. I don't think he did that shit to have 4.
I feel like
different
that's not
jerseys retired.
something that he really cares about.
Exactly.
As far as that, I think he got other shit to worry about than if his jersey's gonna be retired.
Exactly. But I did have Gasol wins that title in Barcelona.
It was really cool, man.
LeBron was on the All NBA second team.
Yep.
Thought that was pretty cool, And then you got Lamar Odom out here fighting Aaron Carter. Did you see this shit?
Yeah, he knocked Aaron Carter out.
Knocked
Knocking
him out.
Aaron Carter out.
Who let this shit even happen?
Who put this together?
Put this together. Called it
Why
celebrity
would
box.
you match up Lamar Odom with Aaron
Lamar
Aaron Carter?
Odom's arms,
Scrawny ass Aaron
looked
Carter.
like they were as long as Aaron Carter was tall. Like, come on now, that shit was so ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But former Laker, I had to mention.
Stop
that.
it! You're killing him.
I would love to see Kemba Walker on the Lakers.
You think?
I think it would be pretty nice. It makes sense. It would be pretty nice. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. Just
Think
saying.
you fix him?
Putting that out there here on June 22nd. I would like to see Kemba Walker on the Lakers. Okay.
I could see that as a possibility.
Maybe.
If
See-
OKC let him go or whoever they trade
Right.
him. Yeah.
It's like I don't know what we would trade them for him.
Yeah.
But as far as my Patriots, I had that Vince Wilfork thing here. Stephon Gilmore is holding out.
I saw. That was one I didn't mention because I knew it was your Patriots. But yeah, Stephon Gilmore's like,
This was news to me. I was like, what do you mean?
he said,
Okay.
pay me.
He's like, pay me. The Patriots
Pay
like,
me
all
or
right,
trade me.
it's going to be $93,000 in fines. He's like, pay me, fine. I don't give a shit. I'll
Trade
pay you
him to
that
Philly,
shit.
Have Darius Slay and Stephon
Oh.
Gilmore on our
Ah.
secondary. Oh, buddy. That would be
Really?
nice. That'd be nice.
On some positive news.
We'll give
here.
you your third tight end. We'll give you Zach Ertz.
I don't
How about
need no
that? We'll give
fucking
you another
Zach
tight end.
Ertz. Fuck Zach Ertz. I don't need no goddamn Zach Ertz. Got Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. Come on now. Anyway, Mac Jones, okay, Mac Truck, okay.
Matt McCool.
He is fucking killing it in training camp right now.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's been videos of Cam, and I love Cam Newton. Cam throwing these ducks, just these
I've
wobblers.
seen a couple of them, man. And like
Mac,
in the end zone, he's like overthrowing dudes.
yeah, Mac comes out and throws dimes right to these people right after his rep, and I'm just like, that's fucking nice, man. That's fucking nice. I'm loving that shit. Like, so that made, even if Cam's the starter, we got Mac right there. You
Mac
know,
Truck.
ready to go. He's got a nickname apparently, okay? He had an interview where he was talking. Cam Newton goes around giving everybody nicknames, okay?
Yeah.
Mac was asked what his nickname is. And Mac's like, Cam calls me mac and cheese. I thought that shit was, I could just picture this young
Mac
bull,
and cheese.
this young, I don't know what he was, like 21 or something, like 20, just like, yeah, Cam calls me mac and cheese. Like, just picture. But like, I just thought
Cam
that was
just
funny.
sitting there practicing. He's like, look at his old mac and cheese head ass.
Mac and cheese ass. Exactly. That's what I picture. Cam just calling this dude mac and cheese. Thinking he gonna take my job. Come on now, mac and cheese. You ain't gonna take my job. Just like Ober's trying to get in his head with some shit. But last thing I had for my Patriots here was Bill Belichick was talking about Dante Hightower fitting right the fuck back in. Worked right back in nicely, and I'm just like, that's great news. Dante Hightower is a huge piece we were missing on defense there, man. I can't wait to have him back out there.
Definitely.
That's all I had though this week here.
Okay. I actually have some Bulls stuff this week. Patrick Williams was named to the all-rookie second team. So we had like two rookies 2 years in a row. Kobe White made, I think he was the first or second team last year, and now Patrick Williams made it this year. So, I mean, he has a high ceiling, man. Apparently a lot of,
Absolutely.
if he can play to his full potential, I think Patrick Williams could be really something here going forward. I mean, we talked about how the Timberwolves, I forget who they took. Like, it was a couple weeks ago. They took a couple players to the Lakers.
D'Angelo Russell and
D'Angelo Russell. Well, apparently, head coach of the Chicago Bulls, Billy Donovan, and Patrick Williams went to the Nets-Bucks game, playoff series. Apparently, they went together and they were just like watching the playoffs. And I was like, interesting. Like, I kind of get it now. Like, these coaches, like, let's take you, like, he's a rookie too, where he's like, all right, let's show you the playoff environment type thing.
Yeah.
So it's like firsthand.
But D'Angelo Russell, I feel like, is a little bit too old for that.
Where
But,
I was like,
it
that's
makes
disrespectful.
sense. Right.
Let me see here. The other thing that I have here, Bulls executive vice president. I never know how to pronounce his name, so I just call him AK. They call him AK, Archuis. But he said we'll have a ton of roster spots going into the season.
Interesting. Everybody in the locker room's like, oh shit, what do you mean?
And apparently the Bulls, like, the rumor is they're going to be super aggressive this free
Okay.
agency, which, man, I'm excited for. You get some pieces. Maybe Trae, get Lonzo onto the Bulls.
Yeah,
Get
at
Lonzo.
least I know AD's safe.
Yeah, damn.
That's all I know. That's all I care about. I was scared about that.
This was I was a little scared about. The Bulls announced that Kobe White underwent surgery on his shoulder. He repaired damage from an injury sustained this past weekend while engaged in basketball activities away from the team.
Oh shit.
He's reevaluated. His reevaluation date is in 4 months, meaning mid-October, which is mid-training camp. So he might be back in time for the season, but that sucks, man. Because I mean, he's going into his third year now.
Hopefully he's all right by the time the season comes around.
I'm hoping so, man, because he's kind of been getting better. I would like to see a bigger jump from him this year, but I mean, I think it's going to take him a little bit of time. But I think he could develop into a decent point guard.
Absolutely.
As far as Eagles news, I have here, we have agreed to terms with wide receiver Michael Walker, who played on the Jaguars. He's probably just a camp body. I don't know if he's really going to make the team. And tight end Richard Rodgers, we brought back for their third year in a row, who has been like a Mr. Reliable in certain situations. I mean, with Ertz out last year, he really stepped up with Goddard. Like Richard Rodgers had a great year last year.
Might as well keep him around for now.
Exactly, man. And we just keep bringing him back on 1-year deals, so it's like easy. It's quick and easy. The Bills are apparently looking to upgrade their tight end position, and they have an eye on Zach Ertz. So the Bills possibly could be trading for Zach Ertz. And the Titans.
We've been talking about this shit for a while.
Yeah, and this is still developing. And apparently the Titans are looking to upgrade tight end spot. So they've also been talking with the Eagles about Zach Ertz. So I mean, the Titans got Derrick Henry, Julio Jones. You got all these weapons, and then you're gonna add Zach Ertz as the tight end, man. That's just like bolstering their offense.
And they're probably gonna get him for cheap.
Super cheap.
You know?
Super cheap, I'm sure. This isn't a good stat, but hey, I'm going to bring you all the stats, whether it's good or bad. Only 3 teams in NFL history have gone a full season without having a single wide receiver pass 600 receiving yards. And the 2019 and 2020 Eagles are both teams out of the 3.
Oh.
2 out of the 3 teams are the Eagles in NFL history that
Damn.
haven't had a single receiver have 600
Was the
yards.
other one Kansas City?
It didn't say, to be honest.
Okay.
It just said 2 of the 3 teams that ever did it were the Eagles.
Damn.
Sucks.
That's okay.
Let me see here. And the last thing, I have 2 things here. Apparently, who was it? Aaron Moorhead on the wide receiver group said that he says, I think if Travis Fulgham can continue to grow physically and mentally, all those things, he can get himself to be that guy. And if he does, to be honest, our receiving core with Jalen Reagor, Devontae Smith, Travis Fulgham, Greg Ward can be really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I agree too, man. I think it's. I understand a lot of people go hate because they're not well-known names. They haven't really made a name for themselves. But I think the peak for all these guys is very good. I think they couldn't be a very good receiving core. They could be underrated. Man, I'm just excited to see Devontae Smith out here catching.
I'm so ready for this season already, man.
I know.
I'm so ready.
We only got 2 months until training, like a month. The end of next month is the beginning of like training camp. So I mean, we'll actually get some news then too. The last bit of news I have for the Eagles, we agreed to terms with QB Nick Mullins from the San Francisco 49ers. So he's going to be our QB. And honestly, I would rather bring him into the game than Joe Flacco if Jalen Hurts was out.
Joe Flacco almost beat my Patriots last year.
That's true. But Nick Mullins, he didn't do bad at all last year as like the backup for the 49ers.
Right.
The 49ers just had everybody hurt. But, I mean, he was doing what he could. His numbers actually were eerily similar to Daniel Jones whenever he was playing. And you can take that as a good thing or a bad thing. But
take that as like he was straight going to be like middle of the pack ass quarterback when he's in there.
I think he's someone that's like capable of, stepping in for maybe a game or 2. I wouldn't trust him with like half a season.
Right.
And maybe if you need him for a game or 2, I'd go with him. But that's the last bit of Eagles news that I had here. Before we get into the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast, I did have one thing here. It was pretty interesting, and it's the most expensive sports trophies.
Okay. And
it's just out of all the leagues. Which do you think, like, out of the World Cup for soccer, out of the Commissioner's Trophy in MLB, the Larry O'Brien, the Lombardi, and the Stanley Cup, which one do you think is worth the most? Or
the Stanley Cup.
You think the Stanley Cup is?
Yeah.
The Stanley Cup is actually the second most expensive.
Oh, shit.
It's worth $23,478. You want to guess it at the first one again?
The World Cup?
The World Cup is the most expensive at $20 million.
Just for the trophy? They use the same trophy every year?
The trophy. Apparently, I think it's solid gold.
Oh my God. $20 million.
Yeah. And third, you got the Commissioner's Trophy, which is worth $18,000. The Larry O'Brien's $13,500. And the Lombardi is the least expensive. It's $4,000.
Yeah. I didn't think that was too expensive because it's not like, it's just kind of, I've seen like documentaries on how it's made and everything. Like they're pretty efficient with it. They take a lot of time on it, but
Plus, every player gets one too on the team, don't they?
No, they all get a ring.
I thought there was players that actually get the trophy too, or else they can get a replica of the
They
trophy.
probably can get one, but I don't think they just give them a trophy.
Okay.
Not all of them.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a smaller version of them or something.
Maybe, yeah.
I know on Chris Long's podcast, he has his. He has like 2 of them.
He probably like paid. You know how?
Yeah.
Think about like when we were getting like class rings from.
They probably have the option to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you want a duplicate? Do you want 2?
Do you want a Super Bowl trophy with your ring, sir?
Yeah, actually,
Oh,
that'd be $4,000.
I could just have that sitting up on a shelf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, that's chump change, man. So now we only have one thing left to do, and the episode is the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. And we're just gonna keep rolling into NFL stats here. And this is actually pretty recently. This is from this past season. It's a crazy sports stat. Under Adam Gase as the head coach last year, the Jets' offense was so bad, their number 1 leading scorer was the kicker, who played in only 9 games. Their 3rd leading scorer was the backup kicker, who played in 6 games.
That stat just kept getting worse and worse. Oh my god.
That's
man.
how bad the Jets were last year under Adam Gase. That is pitiful.
That's
like,
so bad.
The kicker normally gets a lot of points for a team, but man, he only played 9 games.
But that's the thing, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the amount of games, like that's just embarrassing.
And then the 3rd leading scorer was the backup kicker who had 6 games. Like, come on, man. They couldn't do anything last year.
They're terrible. I hope they're just as bad this year.
Probably will be. But yeah, that's it. That's all we have this week. We had a lot of stuff to cover. I think we got through it all pretty fast too, man. We did it in time. Hope everybody enjoyed the episode. We will be back next week. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to go follow on Twitter at SquadPodSports, and make sure to check out all the other great content we have here on the channel as well. And until next time, we'll see everybody later.
Peace.
Peace.
One.